One example is using a prompt to simulate a leadership scenario, like preparing for a difficult conversation with a team member. This is a
Mm,
fantastic example because in today's world, we as leaders, we have to show emotional intelligence when we're dealing with our staff and dealing with other people. Being able to put a scenario into ChatGPT or whatever generative AI tool that you use and ask for some options on how to actually respond to this can be worth its weight in gold. All right, welcome to another episode of Leadership Sovereignty. Things we got so much great quality feedback on the AI series. We decided to come back
that's
and
right.
do a set of bonus episodes for you. So, thoughts, Terry?
Man, it's changing lives, and just like this information is impacting folks, Gen AI is doing the same thing, man. So there's a lot to share, and I'm excited about this episode.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's just jump in because this will be picking up right where we left off. Let's talk a little bit about real world studies of our case studies for Gen AI in your career. So here are some examples of those who can use Gen AI today in their career. People who are in marketing, right? So, for instance, a digital marketer who uses Gen AI to quickly draft a personalized ad, copy, and analyze campaign data, right? The ability to use Gen AI to personalize an ad towards your customer specifically by giving it the proper framework and the proper prompt. Being able to give Gen AI a massive amount of data so that it can analyze and give you
Right.
insights, right? Saving tons of time. Any thoughts there, Terry?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? We are in a sense, right? We're content creators, right? We're marketers, right? And just speaking from a personal standpoint, being able to even take an existing photo, right, or taking an existing piece of content and asking it to craft it to your need, right? It may have an image that maybe has, let's say floral, and you want it to look more industrial in terms of the
Mhm,
background setting, right? You can put that content in there. As a matter of fact, I engage with some content creators, even with Live Life Technology, right? And we have social media campaigns going on, email marketing campaigns going on, and to see how those experts, they're not fearful of Gen AI. They're actually embracing it, right?
mhm,
And seeing how they are measuring it against what they were doing before, right?
mhm.
To our earlier point, right? It is engaging. It is allowing them to have a more verbose voice in their level of creativity.
That's good. That's good. Those are great examples. Another example is in HR, right? A person who in HR uses Gen AI to screen resumes or to draft initial interview questions, to speed up the hiring process. I know that I've even used it in my past to create job descriptions. Right? Remember trying to write job descriptions from scratch? That
Oh man,
that
that was
thing
painful.
it was.
That was painful. Yes.
It was,
Right.
it was, it
Yeah, oh man, that
was.
was painful.
Yeah, these processes are so much easier now. Not saying that it does the job 100%, but it'll definitely get you 80 to 90% of the way there, and then you can customize it the rest of the way for yourself. Again, efficiency, productivity, right? Saving you tons and tons of time. And then what about a financial analyst? Somebody who uses
Oh
Gen
my
AI,
gosh.
to generate quick financial summaries and identify trends in large data sets. Again, you cannot process faster than this can, right?
N
Go
No,
ahead,
for
Chen.
for sure. No, so what I love about that, right? So being in this entrepreneur space, right, you really get to engage with others who are on the journey, right? And so, I have a set of friends who are mentors. I have a set of friends who, we're at that initial growth launch stage. And to see how each of those different persons are leveraging Gen AI. I was speaking with, I was speaking with a cohort yesterday, and, we were talking about cash flow and we're talking about, the operations. And so, of course, right, I start going back to our numbers conversation, right? And I'm like, look, we understand what the day to day looks like because a lot of times entrepreneurs are looking at the micro level.
Yeah,
So, but I start encouraging my cohort, hey, if you start looking a little bit at the macro, right? You can look at your numbers from a quarterly basis. You can look at them from a weekly basis. You can look at them from a monthly basis. And I'm like, look, you don't have to create this stuff from scratch.
that's right.
Get with your accountant, get, some Excel documents, again, get the paid version,
Yes.
right, of Gen AI so you can protect your data
Right.
and you can have it. Man, do you know how amazing it is to take those numbers, take those spreadsheets and say, "Hey, give me first quarter. Give me the first week of first quarter.
Mm,
Give me." And so now and so what I was encouraging my cohort to do is to look at your business at all these different slices. So when today is not going well, you can go, "Oh, but you know what? I'm up on the month."
that's good.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
that's
then
real good.
that's hours of work. That's hours of work, right?
That's
That's
right.
turned into probably what? A good prompt, that's like 30 minutes, probably.
Yeah, yeah,
It could be
easily.
less than 30
Yeah,
minutes,
yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah, the more you get used to it, yep, yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, man. There's no shortage. If you can think it,
mhm,
it can generate it. It's as
yes.
simple as that.
Yes, yes, yes. So good, so good, so good, so good, so good. And so before we go any further, I do want to take some time to give a shout out to some special listeners out there who have taken the time to give us the gift of feedback. Tabitha, Jasmine, Regina, we appreciate you. Thank you for going on the site and
Yes.
giving us taking the listener feedback. And we encourage anybody to go to our site, leadershipsovereignty.com/survey, and to take our listener survey so we can get some feedback from you and leave us a review, and we will shout out your name on the next show. So thank you for that.
Thank you
Okay,
guys. Appreciate it.
perfect. All right, so moving into the next topic, let's talk a little bit about advanced prompt engineering techniques, right? So, one example of that is using a prompt to simulate a leadership scenario, right? Like preparing for a difficult conversation with a team member. This is a
Mm,
fantastic example, right? Because in today's world, we as leaders, we have to show emotional intelligence when we're dealing with our staff and dealing with other people. Being able to put a scenario into ChatGPT or whatever generative AI tool that you use and ask for some options on how to actually respond to this can be worth its weight in gold, right?
yes.
Because a lot of times especially if we're managing people, or let's just say you have to talk to your boss about a difficult conversation, right? How often do you get a chance to get a coach that can actually tell you, okay, well, based on this situation, you probably want to talk like this. You probably want to say these words and things that is invaluable.
So, and you know what? It is, right? And so here's the beauty though. You are not typing this in. You're literally having a conversation. Like just like
Yes.
if you were
Yes.
on the other end of this podcast and you wanted to add some questions,
Yes.
yeah, it's irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. And then remember, in a previous show, we talked about how if you have at least with Gemini and ChatGPT for sure, you can create a shortcut on your phone where you can just click on a button and then automatically start having a voice conversation with the tool, right? Irreplaceable, like Terry said, invaluable.
Yeah. And so look, let's I'm gonna keep it like let's break it down to the most simplest of examples, right? I have teenagers in the house and everyone in Texas, I believe, as a teenager has interviewed at Chick-fil-A, right? So I'm like, hey, you need to get with ChatGPT or Gemini and go through your practice interview.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Hey, make sure they ask you about all the sauces," right? I mean, and they literally sat there and went through an interview prep for, hey, I'm going for the, I'm gonna be the tea filler, right?
Yeah.
I'm the French fry guy,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever the role is, right? And it will literally sit there and take you through as many iterations as you need to perfect, and it will also give you feedback. Hey, how did I do?
Yes.
Right? Well, you should
Yeah.
strengthen here. And just on a more serious note, right? Just even me personally, and when I have customer meetings and there's some information that I receive back, I'll feed it in and I'm like, hey, you're the client. I want to present this and help me present this in the best manner where um, I'm alleviating the technical jargon, right?
Mhm.
And I'm
Mhm.
making this very client friendly to understand, right?
Mm.
And so you
That's a
give
great
it the
use case.
context, right?
Yes.
And so it's great practice, right? Because look, 25 years, 20
Mhm.
years of tech talk,
Mhm.
man, it's just, base always wants to come back.
That's right.
Right? So,
That's right.
but you have to practice at where you're going. So, and again, tons of other examples I'm sure, that
Mhm.
we can share. Those are some personal
Mhm.
ways that I've used that feature route. So
Mhm.
just
I
want to
love
share
that.
that.
Yeah, I love that. I think those are great examples and great stories. I've heard of a guy, going as far as to uploading a job, description and uploading his resume and comparing the two and saying, okay, tell me the differences between the two. Where am I
Wow.
lacking? Right, right. And I want you to train me and get me up to speed on these so that I can interview well.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
It can go that far for you. Right.
Wow.
So if you are interviewing nowadays, if you're not using this tool to prepare you, you're really doing yourself a disjustice, right? Because it's only going to make you better, right?
Wow.
Um,
No, that's
an, ano-
awesome.
yeah, yeah, no, another engineering prompt engineering technique is crafting prompts to break down a big project into actionable steps, right? Or helping someone manage and prioritize tasks. So imagine that you are, and we've all been in this situation. Okay, boss has asked me to get involved in this big project, and I need to lead this big project. You don't know where to start, right? You can use your prompt engineering skills to create the perfect prompt to say, hey, you are an expert at project management and the context is I've been given this project to do and I need you to help me understand exactly the right way to break this project down into the right prioritization and task. And I want you, and these are the instructions, I want you to lay them out in this way for me, right? Do you understand the competitive advantage that gives you versus someone who's never done it before?
Wow.
Right. And Terry and I were saying this in the previous episodes, right? Think about everything we're talking about in the context of you doing this versus someone who's not doing it. That makes all the difference in the world because again, you will fly right past people like they're standing still who refuse to take the time to learn how to do this. Because remember, 80% of the people who use Gen AI do not use prompt engineering. 80%. Right? That means only 20% of the people who are actually using the platforms are actually getting the true value and the true power out of it. Right? The other 80% are only using it at a very, very small level. And if you take all of the people who are using Gen AI versus all the people who are not, it's even a greater people who are not even using it at all. So these are your competitive advantages in the workplace. These are things that you can use on a regular basis that are going to help you get ahead. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Sovereignty Podcast. If this content blessed or helped you in any kind of way, support us today by subscribing to our YouTube channel, clicking the like button for this episode, and sharing this content with others that you think it will help. Until next time, stay safe, peace, and blessings.